Alrighty. Hello! Yay! All right, it's Friday fun. As Kay said, fantastic Friday. Yes? Oh, so much fun. So my name is Wendy Lee, and I am coming at you from CreativeLeeYours.com in my studio, and we're going to do day 4. Is it day 4? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Day 4 of our crafty fun out of the new catalog. So much fun. I'm so glad that you guys are joining me. So we have one more day tomorrow. After today's presentation, we'll have one more tomorrow. And I actually was going to do what I'm doing tomorrow today, but I have a box that should arrive at any moment. And I want to make sure I show you guys the new magnet plate for the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So since the other project I'm doing has a need to pull that into the demonstration, let's say, we will do that tomorrow instead. So today I've got a fun card. I think it's fun. So let me go ahead and switch the camera over and we will get started with our crafty fun. Yay. I don't know what's going on with this hair today. I got some craziness, flyaway stuff going on. So this is, whatever. We'll switch it over. Okay. So this is the super cute project that we're going to do. So we are pulling in this adorable Wild and Sweet stamp set. And this card is actually a swap card that I made. So a swap is where, as demonstrators, we get to participate in organized swaps and trade with other demonstrators. So this is my project that I made with this stamp set. And you're going to see, here's that foiling technique that we did on Wednesday. So I pulled that in. I'm not going to show you how to do that today. If you missed Wednesday's video with the sanded foil, go back and watch that. So I've got this pre-prepped for us today. So we will not do that piece of it, but we're going to do the watercoloring and all of this here. This is on a Shimmer White. I don't know if you can see the shimmer in that paper. It's awesome. And then we've got, the design brought to the inside. So I'm also pulling in addition to the Wild and Sweet, sorry about the ring light there. I'm also pulling in the Lovely You. So this is from the annual catalog. That's a carryover, some great fonts. And I just thought this Widely Grateful went so cute with the Wild and Sweet, right? So we're going to bring that in. So let me slide this over on the left side here. And let's go ahead and start with our stamping. Let's see. Oh, good. Hey, Susan, Janet, Jean, Kay. So glad you guys are here. Say hello if you're popping in. Would love to see who's joining us. All right. So for this one, when I made my swaps, because I was making several, I went ahead and set this up on the Stamparatus. And I decided that I wanted to use Stays On ink because of the watercoloring technique that I was doing. I did not want that to bleed out. So let me pull this in. I'm going to move the sample so that we can fully see this. Whoops. Now, you're also going to see it's messy, but I had created a little template. So I like to take the cardboard pieces that are in the back of our designer paper packs, and I cut them into 6x6 squares, and I use them as templates in my Stamparatus. So what I did was I stamped this image on my template, and this is where all my messy ink comes from, because I did not use Stays On, and the ink I used wiped right off, sort of. And then I die cut my image out, just like I'm going to have it for my card, right? So I die cut that. Did I bring them? I did. As I mentioned, I think it was on Monday. My favorite dies from the new catalog is the Stylish Shapes. And we're going to use that largest square. So I've already die cut this. And again, it's out of that shimmery white paper. So it's got a little sparkle to it. And this is great. It's a great alternative to watercolor paper. So we have a fabulous Fluid 100 watercolor paper that does fabulous with watercoloring. But it is hard to get a really nice stamped image on that. It can be done. It just depends on what you're doing. But I think that for what I'm doing for this particular project, that I want to have it a little smoother. So I'm using the Shimmer White. Hey, Mary, so glad you're here today as well. All right, so I'm going to take my jet black Stays On, and I'm just going to ink this guy up really good. Now, I'll have to clean this with my Stamparatus later. It may stain a little bit. That's okay. I do have a Stays On cleaner I can use if need be, but mine's going to sit through the whole demonstration because I'm not going to take the time to clean it now. But just to let you guys know. All right, so I'm going to plop this over, and I'm going to give that a good push. Now, the great thing about using this apparatus is if I don't get, look, see, I missed a little bit in there. I didn't do that intentionally, but I missed a little bit here. So I can go ahead and ink up a little bit more and do this again and give that a push right where I need that to be inked up. Well, I guess I need to do it more than once. It removed, it stuck, but that's okay. Cute, 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 cute. All right, so I've got my image all stamped. I'm gonna go put this away. I'll clean that up later. So you guys, whoops, so you guys don't have to watch me do that. Okay, so what that snap was, I have magnets on the bottom of the stamp apparatus, and I have a stool next to me, and that's where I actually set stuff off. And I forgot the stool was metal. So the magnet on the bottom just like snapped right to it. Crazy, right? All right, so we've got our gorgeous little image here. And I'm going to bring in Pool Party Basic Gray and Shaded Spruce, and I'm going to do some coloring. So I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is my Pool Party, and I'm going to squeeze the lid and put some of that ink right on the lid. So now I've got myself a little color palette here, and we'll bring in one of our water painters. So this is the medium one, and it says push on the side. That's where you need to squeeze it, and a little bit of water will drop out, and then I can go ahead and pick that color up as I want to here. Now, I found a little bit goes a long way. Let me move this over. I kind of want to be more in the middle. So I am going to take this. Looks like I got my stamping just a smidge blurry. It might have shifted when I did it the second time on the stamp apparatus, which is okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I just have a little bit more of a definition to my lines. But I wanted you guys to know that it's not that you can't see. It is a little bit blurry. All right, so I'm just washing in a little bit of Pool Party ink right into the background here. And because I'm starting with my lightest color, if I get a little bit in some places that I'm going to add some other colors to, it's fine. You could come back in and layer on. If you let it dry a little bit, you can layer in some additional color if you want. I want to keep it nice and light, just really subtle appearance around him. Okay, so we're going to close this. We are done with Pool Party for now. All right, perfect. So next I'm going to bring in, oh, you know what? I forgot to bring in early Espresso. I'll run and get that in just a moment. Woo! I'm going to go to Basic Gray next. And I pulled this one because I wanted to give him a little more color. Now, because I've got a little bit of a double stamping going on, you're not going to see quite the impact that this had when I had a better image stamped, right? In my original sample, but it just gives him a little bit of shading with that gray. So nothing crazy. I'm going to run and get my Espresso ink that I forgot. I had it out and I couldn't figure out why I had it out until I just now looked at the card again. Okay. And there's my Espresso. I'm going to add some water to that. And I like to go in first and give it a light overall amount of color. Now you could put a scrap paper underneath if you want, if you're worried about that. And I try not to get it too crazy wet because while this paper is really nice for watercoloring, it doesn't take on as much water as a watercolor paper would. So again, the artists at Stampin' Up! Have done a fabulous job letting me know where I should put my shading and add my additional depth of color here with all these little hash marks. I love that. So I can just lay in a little bit of color. I'm just scribbling. Do you guys like watercoloring? Yes, I reuse the water pens. I did not because I started with a light color. I didn't actually rinse it or wipe it clean between colors. I will before I do the next color, and I'll show you what I mean by that, Susan. Okay, so I am getting ready to change colors. Now I'm going to a color that I might not want things to intermix with. So I can just squeeze it and wipe off the ink off the brush. So you can just keep on going with your watercoloring. I hope that answers your question. Could you use watercolor pencils or the water pens better? Why? Okay, so it just depends on what ink you want to use, right? So you could use watercolor pencils as they are and color in. Of course, that would be fabulous. You could use watercolor pencils and then use the water painter to blend that watercolor pencil out. And I can go get some watercolor pencils and show you what I mean by that if you need to see that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of touch of color on these green leaves. I don't need a ton. Just a hint of green. And so this is shaded spruce that I'm using now. So bring in a little bit of that leafy image there. Cute. So it's a fast, easy way to watercolor, I think. Hey, Vicki, so glad you're here. Yes, regular water. So Susan, we have these. We used to have what we called aqua painters, and these replaced them. And so these come in a pack of 3. This is the medium tip. We have a tip that is a flat brush. Looks like I got ink. Look, I got ink everywhere. Let's see if we can clean that up. There we go. That came in handy. But yes, you'll unscrew them. And these actually, in my opinion, unscrew backwards. So you unscrew it. You just add some water into the handle there, and then you'll screw that back in. And so there's 3 tips. There's a fine tip that's smaller than this. And then we have a flat brush, which I really like. And then you've got this medium tip. And they've got a spot on each one of them that shows you where to push, because that's the thinnest point of the tool, which will allow the water to come out to the tip. So it's nice because you don't have to have a cup on your table. Now you still could. You could dip this in a cup. But this way I don't have to have a cup on the table. I'm not making a huge, huge watercolor mess. And as I change colors, I just squeeze out a little bit of water, get that run until it runs clear, and then I can switch colors. I hope that that makes sense. Hey, Faye, so glad you're here. All right, so we've watercolored that. Susan, if you want me to grab, or if anybody else wants me to grab out the watercolor pencils and show you a couple things with those, I can. You just let me know and we will jump and do it. Okay. So I want to let this dry for just a moment because I did add quite a bit of moisture to that. So I'm going to set that over to the side while we build some of our card base here. So let me pull in my cardstock. So this is 8.5 by 5.5 standard size letter size card for those in the US. That is where I'm at. So that is why my measurements are that. Now I will put a link in the video afterwards with the links with all the supplies. So you'll have those, you can click right on them, take them to my online store, add them to your cart if you'd like to purchase any of the items. You'll have the complete supply list with cut dimensions as well. So you can recreate this. And then I'll also have a link in there for, I've been setting up project recipes on my website. So you can go to that link and print off a printable version of the recipe. So that you can have that to store it in a notebook or whatever makes you happy. All right, so as I said, I didn't do the sanded foil with you today. I did it with you on Wednesday. So if you're not sure how I created this, go back to Wednesday's live. It's recorded, so you can get to it and see how to create that technique. So this was created with foil paper. Now I just clipped that in half. I created it in one piece and I left it whole so you could see, but I wanted to split it. So we talked, I think it was also in Wednesday's video, we talked about kind of using cheater layers, I guess you could say, so that you can get more out of your more expensive papers, right? So this is a great way to go about this. Now, it would be good if I had my grid paper, which I do not have out right now. But let's see if I've got a piece I can steal from my Stamparatus. All my pieces, it's funny, all my layers of my Stamparatus have holes in them because I use them as templates. But that's okay. This will give us what we need. I'm going to lay this out. I'm going to use these grids as a guideline to place my pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and you can use liquid glue if you prefer, but I like Stamp and Seal. So I'm going to use Stamp and Seal and I'm going to place my strip somewhat centered. It doesn't have to be perfect. Right? But what you were paying attention to is where are you placing it on this grid? So I'm actually going to slide this over a little bit so that I'm right on a line of a grid piece. That way it'll be easier for me to line up on the other side. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come down here and place that on that same grid. I think I did the opposite side. I think I did my cut side. Let me rotate that. I did not have a straight edge. If you're concerned about that, definitely don't clip it apart with scissors. You can clip it apart with your paper trimmer. All right, so there my pieces are straight. Now I'm going to leave this out because I'm going to do this one more time. I am doing the same thing with my designer paper layers. Now I don't have the chart for this one made yet, but I wanted to let you know that this is from the He's the Man, or what you want to call the, He's the Man 12 by 12 Designer Series paper pack. So I've used almost the whole pack. So I have a class this weekend and totally used every little bit of that paper except for those little slivers you saw. So I haven't made my chart yet. I have a box coming today. So we'll, hopefully have that and be able to make my chart soon. But you can see it here on page 78 and 79 of the catalog. Now this paper is unique because it has 5 double-sided designs. And then there's 2 sheets of die cuts that you just punch out of the paper, which is pretty darn cool, I think. All right, let me check your questions, make sure I'm answering. Do your pens have to be replaced or get ruined? The only time I've replaced them, Susan, is if I've chosen to use bleach as a medium with my water painter. So I tend to designate one for that if that's what I'm going to choose to do. I hope that makes sense. All right, so let me kind of see if I can rotate this. I'm going to come all the way over to the edge so I can get on a grid line here. And I'm going to take my little cheaters of designer paper and lay these down here. And I got some fraying going on. I need to change my blade on my trimmer, I guess. I didn't realize I did that. All right, and we'll do one on the other side. And again, I can use my little grid of my paper as a guide. Nice. So you can use your Stamparatus paper or the full-size grid sheets. One of the cool things is our starter kit promotion that's going on right now comes with some really pretty in color specialty grid paper. So that's fun. All right, I have regular dimensionals on the supply list, but I have black ones handy dandy. So I'm going to use black ones for this layer. It really doesn't matter. You use what makes you happy. The black, we haven't had black ones for too many years. And before that, we all used white, I think. Or at least I did. I used white for everything until they introduced these. And then now it's hit and miss based on my mood and what's handy dandy. All right, great. So now our layer is on the front of the card. Now I'm hopeful that this is dry enough, and it is. And I am going to adhere this to my early espresso layer. Again, you guys will get the measurements at the end. So or after the video, you'll have to hit the show more, I believe it is, to expand. And then you'll have to scroll down. It's not there yet. It doesn't allow me to do it when I go live immediately. I'll have to do it after we're done. All right, perfect. So that's layered on, and I want to pop this on the front with some dimensionals. So awesome. Did I tell you guys I made this for an organized swap? I think I did in the beginning. So this was my card that I did as a trade with other demonstrators. And I've got a stack to show you at the end of the swaps I received back. Some good stuff using a lot of different products in the catalog. All righty. So we're just going to place this guy right down on the front. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment next. So I'm going to pull in my shaded spruce pad. And then my sentiment is from that lovely U stamp set that we talked about. A little strip of Pool Party. And we'll stamp this on here. Hopefully centered and straight-ish, right? That's our goal. Yay. Let me see if I can see your comments. Yes, like watercoloring. Yep. Like the water pencils. Yeah. Yeah. Some point I totally can show you guys the watercolor pencils as well. And yes, Jean, that is correct. It will help if you clean your tray of your cutting channel of your paper trimmer. Help with some of the fuzz. I do that probably daily. Clean that out because it gets a little crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere this little strip right down on the front. You could die cut the shape if you wanted to. I'm leaving it pretty simple. And I'm just going to add this right down. I don't want it matchy to that layer. So I've got it down just a little bit lower. Cute. All right, let's add a little bit of bling. So we've got the Rustic metallic adhesive dots. These are also from that He's the Man suite. We'll just sprinkle on a couple of those. So I've used a whole bunch of these as well already. Oops, I lost it. There we go. Put one there. Put one there. And let's add one more, maybe down here. I don't know if you need those, but I think they're kind of fun. And they blend really nice. It's very manly if we want it to be a manly card, right? So throw those back in my little baggie. All right, now we're ready to complete the inside. So I've got my piece of basic white. I'm going to pull in a scrap. I'm going to stamp off the edge and bring that shaded spruce back in. Right. Yeah, this stamp set is great because this Wild and Sweet is great. It's so versatile. You can do so much with it. It can be a kid's card, an adult card, gender doesn't matter. It's just cute. Adding this little leafy image that is also in the sentiment set, the Lovely You set. So it's got a couple of different greeneries that you could pull in as well. All righty. Move this out of the way, and then we can put this right in our card and be done with this one. Yeah, great neutral colors. I agree. Lots and lots of fun. It shows you another way to be able to use this cool fern technique that we learned on Wednesday, right? The sanded foil. Cute. Now you could add a sentiment in here as well. You could have stamped one of the other little critters if you'd like. Now, if you didn't want to do the standard foil here, you could just emboss regular cardstock, but I think it adds a little bit of a wow factor adding that in there like that. Now, Susan, did you want me to bring in the watercolor pencils? I can run and grab them real quick. It wouldn't take me but a minute. Oh, you struggle with placement of gems. So you're overthinking it. Think that, think of it from the perspective of less is more. You don't want too many. Although sometimes I do go a little bit crazy with them. But, you know, I enjoy grouping them like in groups of three or five, or I might put 2 groups of 3, but at opposite ends of the page, that kind of thing. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I went to the other side of the room to see if I could find where I put my watercolor pencils. And there they are. Let me grab them. And I'm just going to grab a little scrap of white paper, just regular white paper, so you can kind of see what they are like. Oh, good. You guys like it? Oh, yeah. The bamboo image would be fabulous as well. Okay. So these are watercolor pencils. We have 2 different assortments, I believe so. And let me just kind of pull one out. So you can use these pencils. You can stamp your image or you don't have to stamp an image. So they're really super soft. So you can use them and just color in your image, which adds a nice little texture to it, right? Or you can blend it out. And there's a couple ways you can blend it out. You can do it with a blender pen, which has what I'm going to call clear magic juice in it. It's not super wet. It gives you a lot of control. Or you can use the water painters we just used. And like I said, a little bit of this goes a long way. So I can blend this out and color my image that way as well. and give it more of a watercolory type look. So you can use them with or without the blending. And again, you can blend them with the water painters. You could blend them with the blender pen and ink, you know, the blender pen type thing. So it just depends on how you want to go about it, right? Yay? You guys good? Yay. Okay, let me pull in those swaps. I just wanted to make sure I answered your question, Susan. So lots and lots of opportunities for watercoloring. It just depends on the look you're going for and how much time you want to spend with it and how comfortable you are with it. You know, some days we like a little more control than other days. All right, let me bring in this stack of swaps and show these to you guys real quick. So this one is from Sandy Carlson, and that's from the He's the Man suite as well. This is Carissa. I don't know Carissa's last name, but a little pocket card here. Cute. Now, I didn't look all of these up to see which stamp sets. This is, I bet this is Hues of Happiness, although I'm not 100% sure. This is Amanda Waldhart and the cute little tea set, right? So we talked about this designer paper in yesterday's video. This is Christine Bertram. Cute. I love how she put the sparkle. So she cut her little cups out of vellum and then added the sparkle to the liquid-ish on the inside. Cute, right? This is Diane Bogenhagen. Lots of sparkle. I don't know if you guys can see all the Stella she put on this. So fun, fun, fun. Pulled in one of our in color ribbons. This is Catherine Anderson. And so this is that Sun Prince suite. Real pretty. And here she added that fern embossing folder just in the Starry Sky. Okay, slide those out because it gets a little hard to see. All right, this one is from Amy Combs. And so I like the ribbon wrapped with the extra tie with the linen thread. She's used that fern folder in the back. And she's got that little wreathy die cut in there. Kind of cute. Lori Krause made this one. I really like this one. I love how she embossed the gold on the vellum to give the outline of the stamp. So this is also that Hues of Happiness. No, Susan, you don't put the pencils into water directly. No, you would color on your paper, or another thing you could do. Let me show you this as well. Let me pull this in so that I don't forget to answer your question. Another thing I have done is I have taken my water painter and pulled color right off the pencil, just like I do an ink pad, and you can color it and apply it that way as well. But no, this you don't need to put in water. I think it would, yeah, see, look, it's going to do some funky stuff when it's wet. So I wouldn't do it that way. But other ways you can use it. I hope that helps. Yes, okay, perfect. All right. Sorry, I'm cleaning that off. Back to sharing the swaps. All right, here's another fun one. They've got the beautiful shapes they've pulled in, and that fern folder again. The fern folder seemed to be a popular one. A lot of people use that one. Here's another one where they've mixed a couple of different product suites as well. This one's by Wendy Cranford. It's got a belly band and an angle front card here. Cute. And it looks like she colored her mugs in. Well, no, they're stamped. Anyway, all right. And the last one is from Bonnie Schultz. Again, this is that Hues of Happiness. I love this little die cut edge here and all this details. Cute. So some good stuff, right? Yes. Oh, good. You got a watercolor lesson. I didn't mean to mess you up on that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed all of those projects and seeing some of the swap cards that you can get as a demonstrator. So you guys know that there is an awesome special going on for the month of May. Stampin' Up! Has a starter kit special, and you can get $66.50 worth of in-color products. So you'll get the ink pads and assorted pack of paper, the paper stack, the designer paper stack, some grid paper, just so many awesome things. And that's free in your kit as a special this month. So the kit is $99. You choose $125 in the product of your choice. Get a paper pumpkin kit. You get lots of business supplies to get you started. All kinds of great things. And we'd love to have you join the Diamonds team. All right. So I do have, I'll mention it again. I have reservations open up now for my paper shares. Tomorrow's the last day. So if you want to get involved with the designer paper share, which gives you a 6x6 sampling of each of our new designer papers. I also am offering a ribbon share, which is all the new ribbons. So you get a couple yards of each ribbon to give it a try. This way, it's a nice way to get a little bit of everything, see which ones you like, and buy full packs later, right? I've got registration open for my online bingo, as well as my Let's Set Sail class. And we've also got early bird registration open for Maker's Mojo. So many things going on. You can check it all out on my website, CreativeLeeYours.com, under my classes and events. Or if you subscribe to my email list, get on my newsletter. That's where I'm going to keep you up to date on everything. So if you're not already a email subscriber, please go ahead and do that. All right. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your crafty friends. And if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. That way you'll know when I'm going live. So I will see you guys again tomorrow at 12:30. I have a 3D project for you tomorrow that I'm really excited about sharing with you. So I think it's lots and lots of fun. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern. Thanks so much. Bye for now.